struggle throughout the years to teach us right from wrong. Father works to make ends meet, to keep the roof above our heads. Mother sorts the bills to pay, cooks our meals and makes our bed. This song is for you, Mom and Dad, from all your kids. We wanna tell you we love you, thank you for the things you did. It's hard for us to show how much we really care. We want you both to know that our love was always there. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. Naman tata masapit, diduram tindi nalamami. Panobihan ni maulit, dahil respeto mas kumbeni. Si tata matoto, si nona mumatendi. Bigay na Manilo, o todo haman maasisti. Kanta naman tata, para hamdu. Malago ham ng tingo, singway la hamdo sincero. Naiham todo, inasinan mido. Si Diyos maosi, nagalay ko bibida mido. Kanta naman tata para hamdo. Struggles and pain you put you through, broke your hearts and made you tears. We caused some stress and sleepless nights throughout our younger years. Mom and Dad, we ask you both to hear what we have to say. Andrew, Dan, Doreen, and Jen, Tremaine, Chris, and Renee. Dinga, John, and Dinga, Gabe, Charlie, the youngest one. We love you both with all our hearts, though we might not say it loud. We want you to be happy, and we wanna make you proud. This song is for you, Mom and Dad, from all your kids. We wanna tell you we love you, thank you for the things you did. It's hard for us to show how much we really care. We want you both to know that our love was always there. We kept it in so long, and now we tell you in the form of a song. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. From all your
Yes, I believe I can help this team out of this funk if I were to get the ball. But, I mean, I just want to know what was pounding and throwing helmets and throwing water coolers. What the hell was that going to help? That wasn't give me the ball.
It wasn't get you the ball, but being able to, it's hard for receivers when you get frustrated. And you sometimes your emotions get the best of you. You know, I'm trying to think. Have I ever gotten like that on the sideline? I think maybe once. Yeah, maybe once. Yeah, once. Because I was one that didn't want to show up any of my teammates. I didn't want to show up.
Exactly.
So I was able to control it because I knew the camera was always on me. So I kind of kept it mellow, even though I was frustrated on the inside.
Yes.
You could tell by my body language when things weren't going well, or they were allowing another team to dictate whether I could get the ball or not, and that shit really pissed me off. That shit really pissed me off. That grinded my goddamn testicles when they allowed another team to dictate whether I could get off or not. That bothered me. We did not game plan and have meetings for hours and hours and hours of practice and watch hours and hours of film to come out here on a Sunday and tell them, well, if you play this defense, we can't get the ball to 85. That don't sit right with me. That just don't sit right with me. Because if that's the case, then I ain't need to goddamn practice. You gonna let them do me like that? That's just my mindset and the way I thought, you know? But, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
But and the thing is, like, I'm a big believer in that showing up the quarterback also. And that was that thing.
Never that.
See, that was the relationship that I had with John. I was never gonna show him up. All I asked him, look, give me an opportunity to protect myself, because I'm gonna do my best to come down with it, or it's gonna be incomplete. And I'm never gonna give up on a play. And so he didn't like if he missed you. You like,
Oh, matter of fact, yo, I did that once to Carson. We were playing the Steelers. He overshot a ball, he overshot it, or it was out of reach and I was wide open, and I took my chin strap and I snapped that bitch as soon as the ball, you know, it was out of reach. And I walked back to the huddle. That nigga Carson said, man, if you ever motherfucker do some shit like that again, I won't throw your ass the ball the rest of the game.
that's what that was you like catching football?
Yo.
I like He said you won't get no ball.
Listen, I ain't never seen Nash snap on me like that. One time, I never forget, we was playing the Steelers, and the fact that when we're playing the Steelers, the balls and opportunities I go get are already slim to none, because when I come out the huddle, they are making the defensive play call based on where I line up. So I already know the 2 or 3 balls or 4 balls I might get, I got to make the most
You gotta
with
make
them.
the most of it.
And when he missed that one, man, I snapped my motherfucking chin strap, walking back to the huddle, and man, he came into my face mask and said, man, ever motherfucker show me up like that again, you'll never catch a motherfucking ball again. I ain't even say nothing, cause goddamn, primetime game. It was a primetime game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope when we edit, I hope somebody can find that clip.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's
can
what.
find that
Oh
clip.
yeah. Yeah, John didn't play that, and so I always made sure I was like, hey, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't what we do.
Right.
So yeah,
I lost myself though that one time.
But see, that's the thing though, Ocho, is that I show him up, and when I dropped the pass, or I did something, right? Hey, we talked about that on the side, we talked about it on the sideline, or we talked about that in the meeting room. He's like, hey, I need you a little deeper on this one right here. I need you, you know, so forth and so on. We had a conversation because I know he didn't like me to show him up, but he knows that all that yelling and cursing. Why you talking to me like that? I know that way you ain't talking to me like that. So we had a great relationship. We had a great understanding of the things that how we talk, how we communicated with each other to get each other's point across. So check this out, Ocho. Kadarius Toney needs to let it go, bro. Now Andy Reid was fined $100,000 for criticizing officials. Patrick Mahomes was fined $50,000. Now I know they got those penalties because they was yelling at the officials really talking to Kadarius Toney. So they got docked $150,000 coming from him. This is what he told reporters. Whether it was an inch, 2 inches, or whatever in front of the ball, the referee got a job to let me know. Because he didn't make no effort. You watch the video, he didn't make no effort to say anything, no violence. So apparently he wanted to do that regardless. Ocho,
AP Sports, I'm David Schuster. The first Sunday of the NFL regular season was indeed a busy one. We start in Miami, where there was action at the end of the game as well as before it. Dave Ferry explains.
The Dolphins rallied from a 14-0 deficit and beat the Jaguars 20-17 on Jason Sanders' 52-yard field goal as time expired. Trailing 17-7 late in the third quarter, Tyreek Hill snared an 80-yard scoring pass from Tua Tagovailoa, who is 23 of 37 for 336 yards. Hill had 7 receptions for 130 yards, hours after he was briefly detained by police for a traffic violation. Hill was briefly placed in handcuffs.
I don't want to bring it racing to it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when you do. You feel me? So what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Lord knows, like, what that guy or guys would have did. You feel me?
Trevor Lawrence was just 12 of 21 for 162 yards and a TD.
The rout of the day was in New Orleans as the Saints blew out Carolina 47-10 with Derek Carr throwing 3 touchdown passes, and he was also impressed with the play calling.
I was actually excited to see, how they made adjustments, how they talked about things, because, I've seen it done the right way. I've seen it done the wrong way, and I was excited to see how they did it. So it was cool to see, but that's just one game.
Joe Mixon with a productive rushing day, 159 yards, as Houston got by Indianapolis 29-27.
We was running downhill, sideways, downhill, doing whatever we need to do to, crease them and make the most of the runs. But, man, shout out to the fullbacks, tight ends, and O-line and receivers, that was blocking, man. Without them, it wouldn't be possible.
In Atlanta, Chris Boswell put foot into football as Gary McKillips fills us in.
For Pittsburgh, it was all field goals, but that was enough as the Steelers defeated the Atlanta Falcons 18-10. Chris Boswell hit on all 6 of his attempts, including kicks of 57, 56, and 51 yards. He also had 2 of 44 and 40, and a chip shot of 25 yards to finish off the game. Steelers' Justin Fields, who received the nod at quarterback over a banged-up Russell Wilson, stressed the significance of an opening game win.
We want to just put more points on offense, but, just coming out with a win is very important to start the season off right and getting that momentum going in the week 2.
Fields was 17 of 23 for 156 yards in the afternoon with no touchdowns and no interceptions. Kirk Cousins started at quarterback for the Falcons and went 16 of 26 for 155 yards and 1 touchdown.
In New York, Sam Darnold heard boos, but this time not for him, as his new team, Minnesota, beat the Giants 28-6.
Just the way that we played as a team, just the complementary football. On offense, the 99-yard drive sticks out, and then our defense being able to, stop them. Obviously an early turnover, and our defense being able to hold them to 3 there, that was huge.
In Chicago, number 1 overall draft pick Caleb Williams struggled, but his Bears rallied past Tennessee 24-17. Williams just 14 of 29 for 93 yards.
To be honest with you, I feel great. I understand that obviously the stats were, where I wanted them to be, and things like that, because I want to go out there and perform to the best of my ability.
Elsewhere, Josh Allen accounted for 4 touchdowns as Buffalo got by Arizona 34-28. New England with the upset of the day, 16-10 over Cincinnati. The LA Chargers 22-10 over Las Vegas, Seattle 26-20 over Denver, Dallas 33-17 over Cleveland with Dak Prescott getting a 4-year, $260 million extension. Baker Mayfield had 4 aerial strikes, Tampa Bay 37-20 over Washington, and Denny Cap has a recap of the Sunday night game between the Rams and the Lions.
David Montgomery punches in the game winner on Detroit's first drive of overtime to lift the Lions past the Rams 26-20. Montgomery ran for 91 yards and the score to help the Lions survive after squandering a 14-point second-half lead.
That's a good team over there, I'll be honest. They gave us everything that they had, and we didn't play our cleanest ball, and we'll be better, obviously, but like I said, I'm just happy we came out with a win.
Lions receiver Jamison Williams fueled the win, catching 5 balls for 121 yards. Lions kicker Jake Bates sent the game to overtime, connecting on a 32-yard boot with 17 seconds to go. Cooper Kupp had 14 catches for 110 yards and a score for the Rams.
Coming up, the day in baseball and more. A full slate of action in Major League Baseball Sunday, and nobody had a better day than Pavin Smith. Smith with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Arizona downing Houston 12-6. Speaking of home runs, Shohei Ohtani tying his season high with number 46. The Dodgers shutting out Cleveland 4-0. Elsewhere, Tampa Bay 2-0 over Baltimore. The Cubs 2-1 over the Yankees. Atlanta rallied by Toronto 4-3. Pittsburgh 7-3 over Washington. Cincinnati 3. The Mets 1. Miami blasted Philadelphia Philadelphia 10-1. Colorado 4-1 over Milwaukee. Kansas City blanked Minnesota 2-0. Seattle 10-4 over St. Louis. The White Sox with a rare win, 7-2 at Boston. Texas 7-4 over the Angels. Detroit 9-1 over Oakland. And San Francisco got by San Diego 7-6. Hall of Famer Wade Boggs announced that he is fighting prostate cancer. Tennis Jannik Sinner won the U.S. Open. And auto racing Joey Logano won on the NASCAR circuit in Atlanta. I'm David Schuster, AAP Sports.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
Good morning, Marianas. Buenos Holidays and Tiro for your regular morning show. Great to see you guys. Look at that outside. There is no sunshine right now. It's not because she's gone. It is wet, and it is a little gonna get wetter for sure. We're going to get more drizzles, more rains, more everything. In fact, we're going to get so much, we're going to end up getting the guy from National Weather Service come and join us out here today. That's right, Landon Aydlett going to be on with us again this morning on Good Morning Marianas to make sure that we are up to date with what's happening in this crazy weather that we've got. In fact, if you look at the National Weather Service, it says there's multiple hazards in effect. Flood watch, got it. High surf advisory, got it. Wind advisory, got it. We got it all. Those are just the effects that we have, not to mention the actual rain and the wind that's actually coming down. It's wild. So let's get you all caught up to date with what's going on here. It's 7:14 in the morning here on Tuesday, September 10th. You know what is happening out here. You know that this storm is coming our way, and you know it's not going to be the most serious thing ever. So it's really good news. But we want to make sure that we do stay on top of everything that is happening and how those storms, they change, and we want to make sure that we're ahead of it as it's happening, because that's it. We've got Landon Aydlett coming on to join us here in just a few minutes. But for now, let's give you the forecast. It's 81 degrees out here in Saipan. Actually, no, it just dropped. Just now it dropped to 80 degrees. Humidity's at 85%. We've got winds out of the east at 16 miles per hour. And we're looking at a high near 83 today. Rain and possibly a thunderstorm in our near future. We're looking at some breezy conditions. Winds out of the east 20 to 23 miles per hour with gusts as high as 29 miles per hour with an 80% chance of rain. That means it gonna rain. If you don't have a raincoat when you're leaving the house today, you're just making a mistake. You could bring an umbrella too, but you heard what they said. It's going to be windy too, and there's only so much you could do when that wind is blowing. Unless you want to pull a Mary Poppins, it's a good idea to at least get your raincoat going. Tonight we're looking at more of the same. Rain, possibly a thunderstorm, lows around 78. Breezy again, 15 to 22 miles per hour, gusts as high as 28. And a 90% chance of rain tonight. I would say that's a 100% chance that we're not going to have the baseball game tonight between the Bandits and the Padres. I think you just put that little check in the box right now. It's not going to happen. That'd be a heck of a windy game, though. I bet if we could get that kind of wind without the rain, we might see some serious home runs coming. Tomorrow, can we play baseball tomorrow? Maybe. Probably not. Rain and possibly a thunderstorm, high near 84. Windy with south wind. 18 to 23 miles per hour, getting as high as 25 to 30 miles per hour by the afternoon. Gusts as high as 39 miles per hour with a 90% chance of rain. That's tomorrow. Wild stuff, right? Tomorrow night going to be some of the same. Again, temperature's going to drop down to 77. Also going to be breezy, just like it was during the daytime, 90% chance of rain. Same thing on Thursday, but the wind starts to die down a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot. It's going to be pretty much the same on Thursday as it is on Wednesday. After that, it gets a little hazy, right? Because that's when the cone of uncertainty comes through. But what we talked to the National Weather Service yesterday, one of the things they said that after this Invest 95 West blows through, it's going to be occupied by a monsoon surge where it's going to be more of a rain event than a wind event. But it's going to be windy. Definitely the next 3 days. It's going to be blowing around out here, and after that, it's going to be rainy. Faux show. Again, Landon Aydlett's going to be coming on and telling us all about it this morning. And here, let me I just want to see what time he said he was going to come up. I'm looking at the message from yesterday. Okay, one sec. Here we go. Ready? Whenever you are, feel free to call. Yeah, we'll go on his schedule because he's a little bit more busy. And the big thing about that is he's going to be busy all day. He's going to be doing weather briefings for the CNMI weather briefings. His office for Micronesia, for Guam, for people yawning like that. The good news is he's already hit me back up. And so he might be calling soon. Hold on. Let's just give you a heads up to see what we got on tap. Is he calling us now or is he going to give me a time? Yeah, it's Landon Aydlett from the National Weather Service in Guam, a meteorologist. 7:45, he's got a call in 5 minutes and then coming your way. Okay, great. Okay. Great. All right, so Landon Aydlett going to be calling at 7:45. So 30 minutes away. Actually, okay, 28 minutes. 27 minutes away from getting Landon Aydlett in here this morning to give us a heads up. Now, here's something else that's happening. So we're going to get that update from him today. At 10 o'clock, you'll see us. We're broadcasting again. What is going on? I'm being attacked by yawn monsters. That's happening to me. So please contact DPS. Tell them to keep the yawns away. He wants to know if we want to do phone or video. What do you guys think? You want to do phone or video with Landon? Okay, we'll do video again. Let's do video. You can WhatsApp me here. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We'll have a video call with him. We'll do a WhatsApp video call. That way we don't have to get too crazy. And we'll get him on the screen and have everything that's happening. Right there. Wow, dude, yawning. I got a good night's sleep last night. What happened? I was here late last night working on some video stuff. That's no excuse, young man. All right, so here we go. At 10 o'clock today, we're going to be at Homeland Security and Emergency Management at the Emergency Operations Center up on Capitol Hill. Why are we going to be there? Well, because we're going to have a weather briefing from the good folks up there at HSEM, Bernard Villagomez and the team. Going to make sure that we've got everything for you, and we'll do that live. Hopefully, that thing is a bunker up there. I just want to make sure that I can actually broadcast out of there. Worst case scenario, I'll just shoot video, and then I'll play it for you afterwards. But you know how we do it. We like to be live for everything that's happening, so we're going to try to do that. So you guys are there getting the latest from us as it's actually happening. So we will see. I'm seeing you guys in the comments. Hey, good morning to all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Luisa, great to see you. Tobot, same, my man. Eric, great to see you too. Josie, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Ray, thanks for tuning in. Michael, good to see you too. Thanks for tuning in all the way from California, I believe. And man, what a day it was for football yesterday. I can't tell you. I'm so happy because I definitely won my fantasy football week this week. Brad, we don't care. That's all right. I do. After going undefeated 2 seasons ago and losing every single game last year, it was a train wreck. I won my first game last year. Last night after we ended up wrapping up week 1 in the NFL. So thank goodness I'm not going to be 0 this year. That's the good news. If I finish last, I mean, I really don't want to finish last, but at least I'm not going to finish 0. That was just, I had no credibility. I lost all respect from my friends and my family. My dogs even turned away from me. They wanted nothing to do with me, but it was good. Last night, though, the last game that we were following was pretty interesting. Detroit Lions beating the Los Angeles Rams in Detroit. Again, the Detroit came out and beat Kansas City last year in the opener and shocked them. Well, the Rams took a beating, although it looked good for Cooper Kupp. It didn't look good for the rest of the Rams yesterday. And Baker Mayfield looked great against the Commanders, and he's back in action. Dak Prescott happy about being extended over there, beating down the Cleveland. All around, it was good. Seattle beat Denver. The Chargers beat Vegas. The Vikings with Sam Darnold looking rejuvenated. I don't know. They ended up beating the Giants. New Orleans beat the tar out of the Panthers. The Dolphins beat the Jaguars. The Texans just barely beat the Colts. The Pats beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. The Bears beat the Titans in Chicago. The Bears. Buffalo beat Arizona at home. Oh, that was a nail-biter, though, still. The Steelers ended up knocking off Atlanta in a wild opening. They had 6 field goals. That is how they scored all their field goals. 3 of them over 50 yards. The Eagles knock off the Packers, and that was on Friday night. And then on Thursday Night Football, it was the Chiefs beating the Ravens in season opener. But today, 10:15 a.m. Tomorrow Standard Time is going to be the New York Jets against the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. Gonna be a great football game. A team twice denied the Super Bowl title against the Chiefs. All right, I don't know where I'm going with that. Maybe I'm starting to slip into a little Howard Cosell. A very bad rendition, I might add. You troglodyte. All right. Should be a great game, Mike. I was going to be doing a broadcast of that game. Now, I'm not going to do play-by-play, but, work gets in the way of doing the fun work that I want to do. I know. I got to go. The big thing is the storm, so we're going to go chase that today and get it from the folks at Homeland Security Emergency Management. But Monday night games and Sunday night games and Thursday night games. Oh, excuse me again. I'll be doing the game kind of play-by-play, but not so much. A lot of commentary during the game, a live broadcast. And we're probably going to eventually transition that mostly to the YouTube side. But it's something I really want to do for the last couple of years. And started doing it this past week with the season opener. And I really enjoyed it. The settings were not great, so it looked a little choppy. The audio sounded great, but the video did not look exactly the way I wanted it to. But I had a pretty good idea how I want to set it up, so we'll be good, I think, next time. But I really thought I was going to be able to do that yesterday. No, because we had the commercial shoot. I thought I was going to be able to do it today. No, I can't do that either. So what I might end up doing is just re-watching it and doing it later and posting it, but that's not exciting at all. It's live. It's all about doing it live. While people are at work, they can't get the feed, they can't get the game, they want to be able to see what's happening. Or maybe while they're watching the game, they don't know enough about like the players and the teams and all that stuff, so I can sprinkle a little bit in there and make it interesting. All I know is a bunch of people watched last time, and I want to do it because I really love it. I mean, I just love this stuff. This is the league I grew up with, and this is it. I grew up playing hockey for sure, but football is the sport for me. Like when it comes to watching it and being a fan. So That's what I want to end up doing. So we'll see if I can't get to it today because we got some last minute meeting plans that came up afterwards. Well, the Homeland Security thing with the weather. That's the most important thing, right? When it comes to letting people know about what's important in the CNMI, a big storm blowing through and developing is probably more important than finding out what Brad thinks about the game between the Jets and the 49ers tonight. I know, it sucks, but it's the right thing to do and the tasty way to do it. All right, so we're going to keep rolling right along here. Again, we are about 20 minutes away from having Landon Aydlett from National Weather Service join us today. But, we can get into some NOAA stuff. And this, I think, is going to be a bigger topic, though. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Hold on, let me just see. 8 a.m. All right, so 8 a.m., we'll see if they do roll in with us tomorrow. It looks like, we'll see if they roll in here today. But we should be having Dave Hood and Gloria Kavanaugh rolling in with us to talk about the purchase of the Hyatt. That's going to be pretty cool. Not the whole Hyatt global brand. Don't get excited. We're talking about the building in Garapan. But we do want to find out all of that stuff from them, and we want to bring them in here for you. So the studio is all set up just for that, to welcome them in here. But let's get back to this stuff from NOAA. One of our viewers, Freddie, sent this stuff over to me, and so I'm going to put it on the old share screen. There is a move to declare a couple of species either endangered or near extinction. Hey, good morning, Vincent. Thanks for tuning in. I just saw you over there on the YouTube side. In fact, while I'm over here, let me pull this up on the Good Morning Marianas page, because I know a lot of you guys watch over there. And got to turn down the volume. I just want to be able to see if I've got your comments that come in. Okay, so NOAA Fisheries, they've completed a comprehensive status review of 7 species of giant clams. Have you heard about this? And I could give you all these Latin names, but it'll sound terrible. They did it in response to a petition to list these species as threatened or endangered under the Endangered Species Act. Based on the scientific and commercial data available, including the status review report, and after taking into account efforts being made to protect these species, they've determined that 3 species are in danger of extinction throughout the entirety of their respective ranges. And 2 of the species are in danger of extinction in a significant portion of their ranges, and 1 species is likely to become endangered within the foreseeable future throughout a significant portion of its range. Therefore, they propose 6 of these species, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as endangered and 1 as threatened. Now, what does that mean? Why are we talking clams? Sinahi. That's why we're talking clams, because of sinahi. What's that have to do with this? Oh, just wait. Let me open this up for you. Let me open up the old share screen. Because this is what happens when something becomes endangered, excuse me, and when something becomes threatened. There we go. Sorry about that. This coffee is having some wild effects on me. All right, so here's what it is. Transition. All right, so proposed listing under the Endangered Species Act. This is crazy for us. It impacts us. Why? Because look, for the things that are endangered, you're able to keep whatever you got. All your clam stuff is good, no problem. You know, if you've had it says specifically, it says continued possession and normal care of clams held in captivity at the time of listing. Great. Here's what's prohibited. You can't harvest them or eat them. You can't import or export them or their products. You can't have or sell products that were illegally collected. You can't release captive clams into the wild and then altering their habitat. You can't do that either, right? And so here are the ones that are endangered. The China clam, smooth giant clam, true giant clam, devil clam, red sea clam, and then the horse's hoof clam. Don't ask me to identify them, although that cool tridacna up on top, that one looks really cool. I have definitely seen that one out there in the wild. All right, now, that's for the endangered ones. For the ones that are just threatened, okay, you're allowed to harvest for collection. You're allowed to consume them, no problem. You can sell them, all of them or parts of them, and products, no problem. Aquaculture, good to go. Do all that other cool, like import, export, interstate trade of live clams or intact clams, deal. But you can't import, export the actual meat, the carvings, or pearls. So check this out. That means the jewelry, your spondylous, with your big old sinahi. Yeah. What does that do culturally? What does that do for you? Are you going to be allowed to have it anymore? I think this is that pitchfork moment. Hey, good morning, Ann. Thanks for tuning in. Now, granted, I know that people aren't going to end up grabbing their pitchforks and going up there. But the thing is, we need to make public comments if you think this is a problem. If you want to lose your sinahi, just sit back and do nothing. If you want to travel, you want to go on a plane, you want to fly to the mainland, you want to get through customs, and you want to keep your sinahi, then you need to speak up. Because this sounds a little wild for us. Now, we have reached out to NOAA so that they can come on the show and talk to us about this. Get us smart about this. Can you imagine it? It would be massive. Okay, so there's more to this. Here we go. Here's the rules. And by the way, I'm going to take this link and put it in the comments for you so you guys can check this out yourself. Yeah, Vincent, Raymond, that is the same thing about the turtle shell stuff. Same stuff, right? Same stuff. But the difference is that I'm not walking around town with a big ass turtle shell, right? I'm not that guy. But like, hey, I like my spondylous, and I think those sinahis are pretty badass. So, look, today in Tinian, this is your chance to submit in-person comments. Attention, Tinian. This is for you. If you're listening in Tinian, today, Tinian Elementary School. It doesn't say what time. Oh, it says, yeah, it does, actually. Don't listen to me. It's 5:30 tonight. If you're in Tinian, this is the time for you to go there and talk about this. Rhoda is going to be on the 12th, and then Saipan is going to be here on the 19th. You got 9 days to get ready, Saipan, and unleash the or go in and learn and figure out what you want to do. But I think the main thing is, like, really, if you don't want them to take away your cultural pieces that we've had here, then don't do anything. Or if you don't want them to, then you need to go out there and say something. Make your public comments in Tinian tonight, Tinian Elementary School, 5:30 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. The informational meeting starts at 6, and then there's a public hearing at 7. That's the schedule for each one of those things. So in Tinian, again, tonight, 5:30 doors open, 6 o'clock meeting, 7 p.m. hearing. In Rhoda, it's going to be on September 12th at the Department of Commerce. Same things apply, where it's going to be the 5:30 doors open, the meeting at 6, and the hearing at 7. And then on September 19th, it's going to be at the Crown Plaza in Saipan. So here it is. Here's part of it, too, because they're also going to affect some species that just look like the other ones. That's the way it reads. It says, proposal to list 4 species of giant clams due to similarity of appearance. Because certain parts of products of giant clams cannot be easily identified to the species level. They're talking about the meat, the carvings, and jewelry. NOAA Fisheries is also proposing to list 4 additional species of giant clams as threatened. based on the similarity of appearance concern. So for those 4 species, NOAA Fisheries is proposing to prohibit only the import-export of derivative parts and products, which includes any tissue part that has been removed from the shell, any worked shell product like shell carvings and jewelry and pearls. All other activities would continue to be lawful for these 4 species, subject to regulations, including the harvest of wild specimens, local sale of parts, products, mariculture, and import-export trade of live or intact species. All 4 of them are native to the sinahi, and one's fairly common. That's your sinahis, folks. Well, I'm glad you're hearing it, Freddie. Thanks. And thanks for giving us a heads up on this, because this is not our world. We don't, we just appreciate all this stuff. Hey, Vincent, this is, it's only a concern for NOAA. NOAA doesn't deal with stuff all over the world. They're just talking about the stuff here. So we'll be there for sure on the 19th at Crown Plaza. And if you guys can, Freddie, if you guys are going there tonight, if you guys shoot any video or send us any photos, that would be great. Please send it our way so we can put it on for tomorrow morning. But I don't know if you guys think it's a big deal. I think it's a massive deal. They're also accepting written comments. And if you want to submit your written comments, you can do so, but you have to do it by October 23rd, so at least you have more time. But I'll tell you, having been through these federal things before, I can tell you that it is very important to do those things in person, so that those folks leave with a real strong impression on how people feel about it here. You know, you do it right. Good morning, Carmen. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. But it's an important thing. The folks that are coming from NOAA need to know how you feel about this stuff. And just telling them in a written comment, I know that's great and it counts, but letting them leave here with a very strong impression. I mean, I would say go there wearing your sinahi, you know, wear your spondylous. Let people see it for sure. Let them know what it means. I mean, they're going to ban 4 other ones just because they're similar, even though they're not threatened or endangered. So that's the thing. In Tinian tonight, Tinian Elementary School. Rhoda, you got a couple days to get ready. Yep. In Tinian's tonight, doors open at 5:30 at Tinian Elementary School. Rhoda, 2 days from now at Department of Commerce. And in Saipan, get ready. That's going to be September 19th. We'll keep telling you about this all the way building up to this. But, excuse me. But that's a big deal for anyone. I mean, anyone at all. Now, you can see that there's I put the link to this image that we were showing here. In fact, here. The link to this is the PDF for this. It's available. And it's in Chamorro, too, in case you can't understand the English. And if you can't understand the English, well, then thanks for watching my show. Guahusi Brad Rosala. Ginin Saipan na isla. San Vicente na Songsong. Matsutsutu pari and my news service. And I hope that works, because that's about as far as we're going to go on that one. But that is my morning Chamorro news program. Oh, hey, I'm just seeing you guys. You know what? I see what you're saying on YouTube, saying that it's buffering a lot. Dispensazu, I don't know what's going on with that one. But hopefully we're rocking and rolling on Facebook just fine. So you can always go back and forth between the two, check them out. We'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll see if we can't get, maybe there's going to be another upgrade that we'll get for the communications over here to help out with that stuff. Anyway, that's the big deal. That is, I think, one of the biggest deals. Like, I know when I go there on next week on September 19th, I'm going to go there busting out my spondylus that I have great story about it. You know, I've got 2, and took me like over 20 hours to get to Pagan, and when I got there, I got to trade with the folks who live there for that stuff. I didn't go out and harvest them or any of that other stuff, but I got to trade with them, and I took another 20 some hours back to get back here. Can you imagine though? Think of everyone that you've ever seen wearing a sinahi throughout the Marianas. This affects Guam too. This is not just the CNMI. They have that one Chamorro chief statue in Guam that won't even be able to wear that spondylous. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to see that and to kind of to see that that's a possibility for us, that we could lose that. I just can't imagine not being able to get that. Those massive sinahis that you see. I mean, it's an extinction risk. I understand. I get it. It's terrible. Something that's endangered, get it too. Those other ones, though, that aren't threatened, but they just look the same. So they're going to throw them in there too. Come on. I know. It's science, Brad. I got it. Still doesn't seem cool. And I'm really interested to see how people are talking about this later. So we'll put the reminder out after we're done with the show. I'll put up the real public notice, because this is not getting around in the community fast enough. People need to really know about this. And it's seriously going to impact our... I think it's going to be a serious impact. Maybe I'm just full of it and I don't know anything. But this is it. And it's a total of 10 species that they're going to lump in. It's all these plus 4 other ones that just kind of look like them. Yep, hold on. Just got a couple of messages popped up. All right, thank you. So I just got an email from NOAA. Speaking of that, that's pretty cool. So let me open this up. I want to open it up, but I think it might mess with my YouTube feed. Hold on. It's a response that I got from the folks at NOAA. Check it on the phone so I don't have to worry about it here. Here we go. This is the public meeting. And this, actually, man, I can't believe. So the email that went out for this, I'm looking at everybody who this went to. All government agencies stuff, no media stuff at all. And, okay, so oh my God. Just want to puke a little bit. I'm seeing the email. Sorry, I gotta apologize, but like I'm getting an email with somebody's official government title that has pronouns on it. I'm like, come on, dude. I just can't. I can't. Bleh. Okay. Anyway, this is an official government email address. Why? I just don't get it. I think that's cool for maybe your personal or something, but just I'm not going to be able to do well with that one. Just sounds too much. All right, so at least I know the type of granola that we're talking about. All right, so so we do have an email address, and this person is probably here in the CNMI because they're probably in Tinian. So what we'll do, we'll contact. It's the Assistant Regional Administrator of the Protected Resources Division, Pacific Islands Regional Office. And that's out of Hawaii, but she's probably here. And they forwarded me all the same info that we just showed you guys, along with the schedule for all the public meetings Okay, and there we go. Hold on, let me just thank them for sending this to me. Thank you. All right. My little funny message back to my contact who put me in contact with those guys. All right. So that's the deal. We should be getting a call from Landon Aydlett here in just a moment. Let's just close out of here and see if he's good to go. Ready? Question mark. Hey, good morning, Peeling. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we're just a couple of moments away from having Landon on our show. Landon Aydlett, the meteorologist from National Weather Service. He's just standing by to hop on with us. And I know he had a meeting. And let's see. I bet he's just wrapping up that call, and then he's calling us. So we're going to have the video update. Yeah, you can actually see it. How about that? There you go. All right. So now you know what's happening. All right. So now, what else do we have going on? Yep, that's about it. So we're just a few moments away from getting the update from NOAA. Kapow. And we're just flying in a little bit of holding pattern in a second. Just want to make sure that we are ready to go when this thing kicks off. Did you know that while we're hanging out, the U.S. presidential candidates are going to be debating tomorrow, and we're going to cover that during our show. Well, after our show tomorrow, it's going to be 11 o'clock our time tomorrow, so it'll be good. We covered the last one. Not only did we show it, but then we did a full review for folks who didn't catch it. We studied it a little bit, went through all the questions and the answers, knocked that stuff out. And it's mainly because it was such a train wreck last time. This time around, it's going to be a little different. Hey, good morning, Jamel. Okay. Tick tock. We are about to go. All right, I'll tell you what though. We'll take a real quick break before we get that phone call. If it takes a little bit longer, that's okay. But we're just gonna take a real quick commercial break. Tell you about one of our sponsors, who's out there when you're not out there. It's so much of it is done when you are not. Oh no. Oh, Jermel, you just came in and you're asking about sinahi. Yes. Okay, so this is something that we're going to try to get more for you. This is for the NOAA is proposing listing a number of clam species on the endangered or threats for extinction list, and then going to list another 4 varieties on another list so that we would not be able to wear them or have them or travel with them or anything. So we'll get to that. We'll have to come back to that just because we're about to do this weather update with these guys. So let's throw a commercial out real quick. Tell you about the folks over at Laddiebuilt 24-hour fitness located in Chalankanoa. It's the newest facility in Saipan for working out, and you need to go see it for yourself. It is outstanding, and you can't miss it. It's open 24 hours a day, and it's right in the bottom, like right in the shadow of Aquarius Beach Tower. Oh, Nope, that's not it. Right in the shadow of Aquarius Beach Tower. They've got great parking. They've got great free weights. They've got great machines. They've got a sauna. They've got a cold plunge. They've got supplements. They've got trainers. They got spin bikes. They got everything. The only thing they need is you. Go down there. Tell them we sent you. Go check it out. Say, hey, I heard about you guys on the NMI News Service. I heard about you on Good Morning Marianas. Hey, I heard about you because Brad sent me. All right, we'll go down there and check it out. And here's a little bit of what you'll see.
Persistence of build, be the inspiration they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence of build, be the inspiration they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. Just reached out to Landon. He's just wrapping up a call, but that's a good opportunity for us to get out and tell you about the traffic in Saipan. That music's not loud enough. Okay, there you go. All right, well, that is your overhead look at Mount Topchow. Turns out everything's fine, but I think it's really interesting that somebody labeled the statue as Concrete Jesus. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, anyway, let's get over to traffic. And you know it's wet out there, so it's going to be a little bit slower. Take your time on the roads. And it looks like people are doing just that. A little rough over by the light in Gualo Rye. That's to be expected. Even by Joe Ten's Ace Hardware and the former First Hawaiian Bank, it's going to be a little bit slow over there. It always is for some reason. People taking a left over there by the Shell gas station. Remember, there used to be two Shell stations there, one across the street from each other, and I know that, no question about it, that used to be because it was way too hard to take a left. So you'd always take a right on one of those sides. So that's it. Let's look at some of the other busier areas, and here are a couple of them. One is at where Middle Road meets Chalm, Monsignor Guerrero. That looks a little bit slow, but right now not too bad. I think maybe we may have gone through the worst of it. Over there by the AK intersection, it's looking a little bit congested for folks who are trying to go south once you get down there. It's a little slow on both sides over here because it goes down to one lane. You can see it on the monitor, but you can't see this part. There you go. You can see it right here where it's a little bit slower, and you were actually looking at that part of the road while we were doing it, so it works out just fine. In fact, let me see if I can't get both of those on there at the same time. I can. How about that? Phew. Right, there we go. Yeah, that's the same area that we're looking at right there. So that's the AK intersection. We're actually looking south, and it looks like it starts to slow down a little bit when you pass us. That's when you start getting closer to MHS. Speaking of MHS, let's roll down there. It still looks good by MHS. A little slow for folks heading north, but not too bad. Where it really slows down, though, is out in front of the old Kanoa Resort. That is a trouble spot because that is where you get into the traffic danger zone where there's only 2 lanes and 1 million cones, and what appears to be tons of progress. I know they're working on it. It's not fair to say they're not doing anything, but man, it looks like it's the worst place to go through. And until you go further south, when you start getting in front of Payless, oh man, like that, it's like they threw some stuff over the dirt just to keep the dust down. But other than that, it looks like a nicely paved off-road experience for your vehicle. Anyway, it's a rough spot out in front of Joe 10 and Kanoa and that whole area. At least if you survive getting through there, you can get yourself a nice donut over there at Winchell's. Further south, it's looking pretty good. Of course, down at the bottom of Chalumpiao, you're getting yourself into the area where a lot of folks are trying to get to Hopwood and move back and forth. People really taking advantage of using the alternate lanes, alternate modes of travel going through Aspertito Road, but it's a rough one for sure. All right, does that mean he's ready? Okay. Oh, got a message more about these things. Hold on one second. Dun, 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 dun. This is all about Sinahi stuff. All right. Some great messages coming in from folks. Anyhow, so that's one of the tough spots for traffic. Also, all the way down by PIC, it's a little slow too, but I think that's just people slowing down. Also, it's rough over there when you get near the nutrition assistance program, and that's a lot of kids going back and forth by the school, and it is the beginning of the month, so maybe people are lined up over there. That is how it ends up happening for sure. And then how about going further on Chalummonsignor Martinez? Yes, it's always slow. Don't worry. Don't be shocked. If you're going on Chalummonsignor Martinez and you're trying to get somewhere in a hurry, it's not going to work. Just leave earlier. That's literally the only way to do it. So start making your way up, and as you're going toward the intersection by Shell Dandan, that is just going to be slow. That's it. You can't do anything about it. That's your life. You signed into that's it. Same with, it looks like there's a little congestion over there by NMC as well. And on the back road, not too bad. It is a little hairy when you're getting close to the legislature, but once you get by it, you get just fine. It's also looking pretty nice down at the bottom of Issa Drive. So that is your traffic update / we're waiting on Landon, not Brandon, looking at the traffic update for the CNMI in Saipan today. Also, there's probably no problem with traffic over there in Tinian. They are living the dream. Again, tonight is your night to go speak out about the clams and the fisheries talk and the potential to become a criminal for possessing a sinahi. I know, Brad, you're overstating it. No, you're not going to be allowed to have that. It's going to be a federal thing if this thing goes through. This is your time to lob your comments and make a real impact on what's happening. 2 days from now, the same opportunity is going to be in Rhoda, and then Saipan next week, September 19th. Again, Saipan is going to be pretty busy next week. We've got the Green Gala, we've got the NOAA Fisheries public meeting, and then we're going to have the debate for the Saipan Chamber of Commerce debate, the Green Gala. That's what it is as well. So it's going to be a busy week next week. So the Green Gala, wear your sinahis while you can before the big bad feds take it away. Woo-hoo. Hey, it's possible. I can't imagine it. And it'll be normalized for everybody else. Not a big fan of that happening. I know that's what they did with the turtles. The turtles are so cute. We're talking clams. Practice? Clams. I don't know. I can't see being able to take them away from everybody. But that is what they're looking at. All right. Here's what we're going to do while we're hanging out and living the good life out here in the Marianas. We are going to get you guys the latest update from the Associated Press, because if it looks like it's about to drop any second now. We're going to give you guys the latest from the Associated Press, because that's what we do. Man, I really want to get into these other things today, but everything got pushed because of, that longer call that they're on. And there's this case that's happening in our local court that just seems crazy right now to me. I read it when it happened like a year and a half ago when it first hit, and I thought it was a he said, she said thing that made no sense to me at all. Like, there seems like there's so much more to it. And it turns out, it sounds like that is the case. All right, well, let's do this. Let's get you the latest from the Associated Press. I got it right here, and Landon's going to eventually call, and he'll probably call like right in the middle of this thing. Anyway, here's the latest from the AP.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. An update this afternoon on the man accused of shooting 5 people on a Kentucky interstate. Hai Panjwani reports he's identified as 32-year-old Joseph Couch.
An arrest warrant says the man vowed to kill a lot of people. The affidavit quotes a text message that police say Couch sent to a woman 30 minutes before he opened fire over the weekend on Interstate 75. The affidavit quoted a separate text in which Couch said he would kill himself after the shooting. Meanwhile, law enforcement agencies across southeastern Kentucky are still trying to apprehend Couch and are searching in dense woods.
Our goal is to apply steady pressure and wearing Mr. Couch down.
Trooper Scotty Pennington with the Kentucky State Police.
The longer he is in the woods, last night it got pretty chilly, and today it's got kind of humid and hot. Hopefully he has no water and nothing to eat.
That audio is courtesy of WHAS. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Tropical storm Francine strengthening off Mexico, forecast to come ashore in Louisiana Wednesday night as a hurricane. And a couple of notable deaths at Cranepool of the 1969 World Series winning New York Mets yesterday at 79. And Margie Zaraletta reports actor James Earl Jones at the age of 93.
You have failed me for the last time, madam.
James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader, the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King, the voice of CNN, and he was a lifelong stutterer. He wrote in his autobiography, Voices and Silences, he did not talk for years because he was too embarrassed to speak. A high school teacher helped him find his voice. Jones said in a 2005 AP interview, being Darth Vader's voice led to a lot more work.
It began my work in commercials because they wanted the voice of authority that they saw in Darth Vader.
Jones also had roles in Field of Dreams, Dr. Strangelove, The Hunt for Red October, and as one of the first black actors on daytime TV on As the World Turns in 1965. I'm Archie Zaraletta.
This is AP News. Wall Street bounced back after a rough week.
I'm Seth Sutel, and this is the AP Markets Report. Stocks closed higher on Wall Street, breaking a 4-day losing streak. The S&P 500 rose 1.2%. The benchmark index is coming off its worst weekly loss in a year and a half. The Dow and the Nasdaq Composite also rose 1.2%. Boeing added 3.4%. The aircraft maker reached a deal with its biggest union on a new labor contract. Treasury yields held relatively steady in the bond market. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note edged lower to 3.71%. Investors are looking ahead to more updates this week on inflation. Seth Sutel, New York.
Apple's charging into the artificial intelligence craze with its new iPhone lineup. 4 different iPhone 16 models will all come with a special chip to power an AI suite. The features are designed to turn its often blundering virtual assistant Siri into a smarter, more versatile sidekick. Change is not expected until a December update. I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, Marianas, I got some good news for you. While we were doing the news, got a video call from Landon Aydlett. We're just going to call him back now. I answered on the phone. And I'm going to move this over to the other screen so you can see him here. We're going to get that. Of course, my camera's unavailable. For some reason, it does not work on the phone. Oh, geez, you're turned sideways.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you are. Oh, there we go. That looks great. We'll get the shared screen ready on my side. Here, let's transition this over. I can see it just fine. I'm going to change our camera view right now. But all right, so Landon, I want to say thanks to you for tuning in and giving us an update. And folks, this is Landon Aydlett. You've come to know him over the last few weeks and weeks and weeks of weather updates. And of course, if you had yesterday, a couple of times. But Landon, so what's going on? You're the meteorologist over there at the National Weather Service. You keep us up to date with everything that's blowing through our area, and it looks like we've got something that we're experiencing now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We've been watching this thing come barreling through to us.
I'm going to zoom out right quick and just show you the bigger picture of this mess. And again, this is not a very well-organized system, but as the daytime satellite imagery is coming through, we're starting to see down into the lower parts of the atmosphere. And this is like the surface circulation. That's what's so important with these developing systems, is where is that low-level circulation center? Is it a closed circulation, or is it an open wave or an open trough? If it's an open trough, it's going to be junk, it's going to be weather, that's about it. But if it's a closed circulation, then we know we have a developing system. And it looks like that circulation is right here. But if you notice, we can see all the way down to the surface with the heavy weather to the southeast and heavier stuff to the northwest, closer to Guam. It's still not a very organized, a healthy system, but it is still a disturbance. It's still rated as an Invest Area 95W by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, but they did issue that tropical cyclone formation alert yesterday around 1 p.m., which means that this 95W could be upgraded to a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. And that would, by timeline, be sometime this morning, it could be upgraded to a tropical depression. If that happens, that would make it a tropical cyclone. Remember, the tropical cyclones are range from tropical depression, tropical storm to typhoon. This would become an official tropical cyclone for the 2024 season. And so if that happens, this 95 designation will go away, and then it becomes either 14W or 15W. And I think it might be the 15th tropical cyclone of 2024. So if you see 95 go away and we get a new number, that's just the technicality of how these things are numbered and organized for the year. Weather-wise, let me switch over to the radar. We have a lot of showers passing over Guam, and they're spotty in nature, which is the good news. It's not a steady, nonstop deluge, but it's spotty in nature. So we have some peaks of sun here on Guam this morning, probably some in Tinian and Saipan as well, but looks like it's a lot of overcast with some spotty stuff starting to move in closer toward Tinian and Saipan, just up there on the screen now. But once we look farther to the east, just outside of the range of the radar, this is what I want to point out. The stronger winds are still zipping along on the north side of that disturbance, and a lot of this moisture is coming right toward Rota, Tinian, and Saipan. And so it may not be so bad to start off this morning, but these heavier showers are starting to make their way in. We're going to see these showers just come and go through the day today, and then onward for part 2 of this week-long weather event with the monsoon following behind it. And so zooming out to look at the rest of this region, this is the disturbance here, but the monsoon spins out all the way across the FSM to the south and extends all the way to beyond Palau. So we're seeing showers and thunderstorms and strong westerly gusty winds from Sansural and the Republic of Palau all the way along the equator and northward up to Woliai, and then coming across Chuk State and then spinning right up into 95W. So this is a very large mess across the region. Everybody's feeling it to some extent, but we're going to be watching this depression here closer to home for its eventual upgrade to a tropical depression. The key thing that we're going to be watching, we are looking at a passage of this very near Guam or just to the south of Guam later today. But the rate of intensification, again, it will likely become a tropical depression later today. But will it become a tropical storm before it passes? Right now, the indication is that it will not become a tropical storm. That would be the baseline for a number of actions, including tropical storm watches and warnings, as well as conditions of readiness from the civilian government. We do not anticipate that happening. Our forecasts, we've maximized our forecast for showers, thunderstorms, wind. We do have a wind advisory in effect, but also seas and surf. We have advisories for hazardous marine conditions and hazardous surf. And those are also in effect, as well as flash flood watches. And so we've maximized our forecast for just shy of tropical storm force conditions. So right now we don't anticipate any changes to our overall forecast philosophy the next couple days. Once this thing passes by us, we're going to see that monsoon start to fill in from Yap State, Palau, and all the moisture starting to come up behind it right up over the Mariana Islands for probably Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we're going to see that wind shift late tonight, early Wednesday from more of a trade wind fill. The winds are going to start switching down to the south.
Wow, no kidding. I mean, it definitely looks impressive. And, you know, you mentioned that during your briefing yesterday that Saipan, Tinian, and Rota might end up getting some of the stronger winds. And Looking at your forecast that you guys put out this morning, you could see that in the next couple of days, gusts as high as 39 miles per hour is part of the forecast.
That's correct. And so the big winner for the overnight, the winds, Saipan, just about 5 o'clock this morning, you had some showers go through. You had a sustained wind of 23 miles per hour at the airport with a gust of 31 miles per hour. Anderson is the big winner, though, because right around midnight last night, we did have some heavy showers move over northern Guam. I live up at NCS in northern Guam, and it woke me up. It was thrashing pretty hard. We had a peak wind of 26 mile per hour sustained with a gust of 35 miles per hour. This is the highest gust we've seen so far of all of our observations. So we're going to be watching these numbers climb just a little bit through the day, and we're going to probably see those numbers increase across Rototini and Saipan, especially when those showers come down. Again, it's not going to be a nonstop rain, but it's going to be episodic in nature, off and on showers, but some of those showers will be moderate to heavy, if not briefly torrential, leading to a lot of runoff, and that's going to be a problem for all the road construction across Saipan. So keep that in mind if you're going to be driving, to drive very cautiously and safely, especially during the heavy downpours. Those showers will be accompanied by those strong gusty winds. So a lot of winds are up above the surface, about 1 or 2 or 3,000 feet. Those heavy showers will bring those stronger gusts to the surface.
Well, no kidding. So it's really interesting to see what you had on the forecast today, too, because it had like the multiple weather events that were happening all at the same time. That's something I'm just not used to seeing on there. You've got the high wind, the seas, the rough seas, and what's the other one? Was it flooding?
Yeah, flash flooding. Let me pull up our homepage. If you go to weather.gov/GUM, we should have all kinds of colors on our home screen. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to turn you around right quick, and let's see. There we go. So there's our homepage. Not too bad. I've seen this watch warning advisory box sometimes. I've seen it with 8 or 9 advisories at once, and that will happen in these threshold events where we're just shy of tropical storm force conditions, where we have literally every advisory, watch, or warning in our toolkit being used. But once you issue a tropical storm watch or warning, that supersedes a number of our advisory products. And so it makes the workload a little bit easier. But these threshold events where we don't have a tropical storm watch or warning, technically it's very challenging in the operations because we have to issue multiple different types of bulletins.
Wow. Well, we've definitely got all of them. I feel like we've got our full bingo card filled out for weather.
That's exactly what it's like. I do want to say something. I was just in a chat with the governor's public affairs officer here on Guam, and they did note that they're seeing some old information circulating. And I think the big reason for that is, and this is what we were talking about last week, possibility of old or outdated information. Today is the 6-year anniversary of Typhoon Mangkhut passing over Rota. That was on September 10th, 2018. So there's probably going to be some graphics, some information passing around on social media that people are sharing to incite a little bit of fear and panic, or they're just not reading the date and timestamp. So be careful if something doesn't quite fit the narrative that we're communicating here in the media, on our social media pages right here at the National Weather Service. It may be some old information circulating.
Well, that's a good point. I definitely remember seeing that. In fact, after you two, there were things for us. I mean, yes. And that was just, a month later or something. So I definitely remember seeing those things pop up in Facebook memories and other people reporting them. And the first thing you look at, holy crap, there's a monster coming our way. But no, you gotta look in, pay attention to the dates and the times. It's the most important thing. Otherwise, you're going to get people kind of riled up.
Exactly. Some people do it just for that purpose. And so we have to be very mindful and discriminating on what we see on social media.
Yeah, that might be my next post. I'll just use a picture of you two. I'll post it and say, we've got Landon Aydlett coming on to tell us about this storm that's coming our way. And with no context.
That's exactly it. And it's so easy for that to happen. And so that's the scary thing about all the information that's available on social media. People can share weather apps on social media and cause a panic, or old information, and you can fabricate so much. So, it's easier and better for everybody just to work together in truth and honesty.
Well, that's why we have you on the show. Well, I mean, because you're cool, but because of getting people the real info as it happens from the people who are the experts dealing with it, and instead of me talking like I know a few words from you guys.
Yeah, and just for anybody joining us, again, we're just recapping this Invest Area 95W. And so that could be upgraded to a tropical depression later this morning or around midday. So we're going to be watching for that, moving very slowly through the region. So the slop, the heavy weather's potential is going to be there through today, tonight, and on the next several days for part 2 of this event, which will be that monsoon surge just spinning up behind it.
Monsoon surge sounds like the new flavor from Mountain Dew.
I would give it a try.
All right. Hey, I know that we're all weather all the time, but I would be a shame if we didn't get to get a quick plug in for what you're doing for a Tower for Humanity.
Yeah, definitely. The tower is proceeding, and I'm backing up in my emails for that event because of the storm event. So that's taken all my time and effort. But we have a number of groups that are signing up to be part of the construction. That includes our FEMA External Affairs team that came to Guam after War. They have volunteered and stepped up to form a team and collect foods. Also, the Girl Scouts of Guam. We have another couple teams, a couple businesses. I think Cost You Less here on Guam has committed to forming a team. They were the big winner last year, bringing over 3,000 cans of food. So Cost You Less is such a tremendous supporter for the community, and I just can't sing the praises enough for all the support they do for folks on Guam and all the contributions to charity. So thank you, Cost You Less. We have a number of other drop sites. I think Anderson Air Force Base Elementary School, they're going to be committing to forming a team, maybe a team per grade, to have some of this inter-school competition. And so that would be amazing to see what the kids do across the grade levels.
That'd be outstanding. I'm telling you, Saipan's going to be your growth market for this because it's such a great idea, and we could definitely use it here.
Yeah, and I was talking to Lori. She's the CEO of this Be Heartfelt charity, and I think she's very interested in looking toward the sinahi and how we can expand this effort into the sinahi because the need is there. People are suffering. People are struggling to get by, and I think if there's a means to help those in need, then we should do that. And so I'll be talking with Lori when she gets over here to Guam later this month, and we'll figure a plan for it. I'm officially not a part of the Be Heartfelt charity, but I'm a big supporter, and we'll see what we can do to expand to our north.
See what we can do. I like it. I know. That should be it. Well, hey, if you need puns, I'm here. I'm here all week. All right.
I like puns.
Well, thanks so much, Landon, and look forward. By the way, thanks. That briefing that you guys did from the office last night was terrific. We streamed it up here as well to get people out and check it out.
Thank you for being a voice. You're a force multiplier and helping us to project our information. We cannot do it without our media partners in the community as well as our Homeland Security partners. So CNMI, Homeland Security, thank you for being a big supporter and a communicator for us for that one concise, consistent voice, which is so important in these situations. We will do a Facebook Live sometime today. I'm not sure when, but really I want to do that if and when they upgrade to a tropical depression. That will be the big news.
Okay.
If and when it breaks. And so we will broadcast that on our Facebook page ahead of our live broadcast so that people can join us for the latest information and discussions.
All right, great. And it looks like, the good news is, I don't know how many people are watching it from here, but it looks like you guys are getting a good group of people watching it from Guam too. So they are definitely, you're getting the word out.
Yeah, we are getting some significant numbers, not quite what we had during Mawar. We are up in the 4,000 to 6,000 live viewers range with Mawar, which was phenomenal for any kind of live broadcast here in the region. But we're holding steady in around 400 to 600 per live broadcast. And that'll probably go up with depending on the news and the impacts. But we're seeing viewers from the Philippines, across all of Micronesia, Palau, Guam, the Sinai, and also Indonesia, and a lot in the States. So we're getting a lot of focus.
International weatherman of mystery, getting all kinds of hits all over the place. Well, that's great. Well, thanks so much, Landon, for all your time. In fact, after we're done with the show today, we're going to be heading up to the EOC with Bernard and getting an update from the team from Homeland Security Emergency Management.
Yeah, and I do have a meeting with them at 11 o'clock today, so we'll have all the latest information for the Homeland Security folks up there.
Great.
At 11.
All right, well, thanks so much. Anything else you want to throw out before we wrap up?
That's all I have, but in any tropical cyclone event, stay up to date because changes can and do occur, and things can change for the worst or the better. So stay up to date, keep an eye to the sky.
All right, great. Thanks so much for giving us the update. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Hey, guys, that's Landon Aydlett, the meteorologist for the National Weather Service, giving us the latest update and everything that's happening with this storm that is blowing through our region, causing us to have a little bit of traffic, a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, a little bit of everything. Not too bad, though. It looks like that's going to be, like you said, it's going to be more of a rain event than a wind event, and that is music to our ears. It's still going to be windy, no doubt. And they said that we're looking at, gusts as high as 39 miles per hour in our forecast. But again, those are gusts. So if you don't have to put up shutters and all that other stuff, but it's probably not a bad idea to put some stuff away out there, and be very careful if you've got an umbrella out there, because that's where you get those gusts. What is it? Those salt ads or whatever, where they show the umbrella that's all blown out and all that stuff. That could be coming our way. All right, folks, we're going to take a real quick break. We come back, we're going to have more of our local news topics that are happening out here, and there's plenty of them. So thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you in just a minute.
Player number 14,
It's a great day to be up 3-0. I'll tell you that. It probably is not great to be down 3-0.
I'm Brad Rosala, and I'm the owner for Commonwealth Communications.
And I am Jojo Alipuzu. I am the owner of Island Image and Ocean.
And this is our joint venture, Sideline Studios. This whole concept that we have of doing all these live stream productions and covering news and doing live shows and everything, it wouldn't happen if we didn't have a great partner like IT&E, someone who could handle the bandwidth and provide it and then get us what we need when we need it, and then be a real partner for us for all the events, whether we're doing live sporting events, broadcasts. All of these things happen because of our partnership with IT&E.
With IT&E providing us with the fiber and point-to-point and even the MBRs, it's just a great piece of equipment to use when we're broadcasting our sports, our events, our performances, especially our cultural performances. And it's just great to share our culture here in the Marianas with the world. And IT&E has been there from the get-go.
The thing I like best about working with IT&E is how willing they are to come out and find a solution. Even for Liberation Day, we thought we had a pretty good solution for our live stream setup, and it turns out that we did not have the right setup that we thought we needed. That day, just before the parade, reached out to Paul and said, here's our situation. What do you think? He's like, we're gonna figure this out. While he's sitting there barbecuing, getting ready for the parade to start, he starts burning up the phone lines, calling everybody in IT&E, what can we do, what's the right solution? They left their families to do this stuff and get us the equipment that we needed to broadcast live. That's over and above. That's on a holiday. That's when he was out there spending time with his family.
That's why IT&E is just the best, just really in touch with the people and the community.
I recommend IT&E to everybody. Tell them the options are there, and you could choose whoever you want and then figure out what you think is the best. But when you're ready, when you're tired of having your calls disconnected or not having service, then you reach out to the guys from IT&E.
On Friday, August 23rd, a theft incident was reported at the Payless Truck Store in Chalakanoa, Saipan. Preliminary investigations revealed that employees had discovered one of their delivery vans was leaking gas from the bottom. The van was towed to the shop, where it was later discovered that the gas tank was punctured. Upon reviewing the company's surveillance system, the company discovered that perpetrators responsible for the vandalism of their delivery truck was done on August 19th. At about 9 p.m. Suspects were described carrying gas containers that were loaded onto a white Nissan Frontier. Another vehicle described as a red Toyota Tacoma was also observed making contact with the occupants of the Frontier. DPS seeks the community's assistance in identifying this person. Anyone with information about this incident may call the DPS Criminal Investigations Bureau at 664-9042. They may also call DPS headquarters at 664-9001 or call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 234-7272 if they wish to remain anonymous.
Hello and a blessed Hofede and Tiro. My name is Jose Rabago Jr. and I kindly ask today for your prayers. If you don't know me, people know me as a photographer, a graphic designer, a church member, a choir member. But today, I just kindly ask, as a normal person, I'm just kindly asking for your prayers. As of recently, I've been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called myasthenia gravis. And with this condition, it's drastically changed my life. I've gained double vision, weakness in my face, and in all parts of my bodies, and in general weakness overall. It's made life a little bit too difficult. I have upcoming surgery of island that can help me with my sickness. And this is why I kindly ask for your prayers. As of now, there's no current cure for this disease, but especially with my friends, family, close friends by my side, I know, and I always know that I gotta keep going. People still know me as the person who never stops, and that's what I'd like to continue doing. Never stop serving God, never stop serving people. And if you're willing, kindly ask if we can pray together. Prayer for the sick. All praise and glory is yours, Lord our God, for you have called us to serve you in love. Bless all who are sick so that they may bear this illness in union with your Son's obedient suffering. Restore them to health and lead them to glory. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Kindly thank you for praying with me today. I only ask for prayers, but if you have a generous heart and are willing to give anything, I'm open. Just give me a message. But honestly, I know that prayers work, and I know that's what I need to overcome the surgery, to overcome the sickness. Because overall, there's only one healer, and there's only one God.
All right, folks, we are back. It is 8:27 in the morning. Good morning, Marianas. Thank you for being here with us. That was a video of our buddy Jose Rabago. Boy, I tell you, he is such a great guy. And if you can't feel it in that video, wait until you meet him in person. Just a great guy all around. Wishing him all the best. He's flying out to the mainland today. And we got to work with him and got to know him over the years and work with him on so many different projects. The guy's so virtuous. And I'm telling you, he's just one of the good ones. I mean, like, what do you do in your spare time? Think about, like, all the activities that you have. His big thing, aside from just being a real creative guy, doing a lot of videography, photography, and all that stuff, he pours it into his faith and puts it into the church, and he puts it into his church choir and all that. I mean, the guy's time off. That's what he's doing. This is a guy who put that kind of stuff ahead of his health, too. That's one of the reasons why it means a lot to me that we can do whatever we can to help him out. We have in fact, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull it up, but we did put it on our Facebook page, a link to the GoFundMe. If you don't, he'll be happy with your prayers for sure. But if you do have it in you, if you're able to send a donation his way, please do, because it'll help. It'll definitely help. Here, let me grab copy the link and put it in the comments here. It'll definitely help. I mean, it's like him and his mom. Like, this is his first time going to the mainland. He's going to the mainland for the first time, and he's going for this medical treatment, for this pretty significant surgery. Here we go. So I put it in. That's the worst looking link that I just put in there. Oh, there you go. Well, at least you could see it. If you got it in you, if you're able to do it. I know no amount is too small. I think more than anything, just knowing that somebody is out there doing stuff for him means a lot to him too, because I love that we can probably make him almost overwhelm him with the support that he's going to get from the community. The guy's been there for me. He's done a lot of stuff. He's just so selfless, and and he's had a great effect on all kinds of people that he met. So if you can, drop in on that link. If you can't, and if you are someone who prays, if you'd say a prayer for Jose, that would be great. Pray for him and his family, that he gets through this and that they can be strong together and get through all this stuff. And just a great guy. I'm telling you, I love this guy. He's just such a good guy. And now I'm really thankful I got to know him and still know him. And I just hope that he pulls through this like a champ. And I know that he's going to feel a lot better just knowing that the people back home are rooting for him when he gets out there in the mainland. So that's Jose Rabago. All around great guy. Funny. Dude is funny too. Just great. Anyway, thanks. I saw a lot of you folks have already jumped in and started either praying for him, even doing donations, and even sharing that post that we had for him to help get the word out for him. He's known in the church for doing all kinds of great stuff and donating his time. I'm telling you, while he was going through the worst of this, when he first got diagnosed, when he had a little bit of time here or there, if he was feeling okay and he still had the feeling in his fingers and everything, he would go just so he could strum in the church for somebody's funeral. That's who this guy is. That is who this guy is. So no matter what faith you are, you would definitely say this guy is living that life, of faith. So, all right. Well, we're going to get back into all the other stuff. I mean, it's a tough segue to get to what I was going to talk about. So maybe I'll try to throw something else in between, because it's not exactly smooth. Like the other side of this token is the stuff that's happening in our local courts, and it's tough. Well, let's talk about what today is. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day. It's September 10th, World Suicide Prevention Day. We talked about a little bit yesterday about the Light Up the Night event that they did on Friday, and what a great group of volunteers from all kinds of different organizations. Excuse me. Okay, cool. It was nice that they went out there, and it was just a good awareness event to get people to appreciate that there are real significant problems with suicide out here in the islands, and not just here either. I mean, it's throughout the Pacific, and I wonder if that isn't just part of just being trapped on an island, not being able to hop in a car and drive away somewhere else, right? I mean, you're just here. Oof, rough one. All right, so a rough one in the courts. We started talking about this case about a year plus ago, and it's something about it just doesn't seem, something just seems off on this, right? Like there's other stuff going on. There's two sides to every story. You hear that stuff. But like in particular, something about this one just doesn't seem right. It's a total he said, she said. And it, if you take this back maybe 5 years ago when the whole Me Too thing was rolling off the rails, this guy would already be in jail or something. Not sure what happened, because there's three sides. There's his side, her side, and then the right side, like what actually happened. 3 stories. So let's see if I can actually say this guy's name right. Abrazinkas, I think is his name, William Abrazinkas. And he's accused of some heinous crimes, rape and sexual assault of a coworker that happened a year ago, a year and a half ago in April. But, the thing is, we're not trying the case here on the show at all. That's not how we end up doing it. But the evidence that's in the case that's coming out is really interesting, where it was he said, she said, a lot of flirty text going back and forth. What happened? And she ends up going back to his house, and swimming in clothes that he had for her to wear. They go to the beach. They're hanging out. They're drinking. They're doing all kinds of stuff. And then that's where it gets off the rails, where it's like she said that he forced himself on her, and he said that's not what happened. In fact, he said that he went to his HR to file a sexual harassment claim on her. So something about this whole thing stinks. Like it could just be terrible all the way around, right? It can absolutely be terrible all the way around. Or it could be just the worst case of, I don't know. I think when you see some of the texts that they had back and forth, there was more than just I randomly was involved in this. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, like some of the text messages apparently after this, and this is from his public defender. Said the victim told the detective that she was so drained and upset, so emotional after she was so violently attacked that she just wanted to cry and take a shower and be clean. But then she remembered that she left William's car headlights on. Within an hour of supposedly being violently raped, she was messaging him, "I tried to wake you up. I couldn't wake you up. I hope you see this in time. Your lights are on," which is just, that doesn't sound like that kind of stuff. And it's a hard conversation to have, right? Because you don't, victim blaming is a big deal, right? Well, yeah, if you're blaming the victim, for sure. But talk about the facts of the case as they're presented in court, I don't think counts as victim blaming at all, because I don't know either one of them. I don't even know the name of the supposed victim for sure, but I know there's a lot of things that happen with regards to people being accused of things. And again, it's not defending anybody in this case, or not assessing blame on anybody in the case, but the guy's already, he's named and brought out there as being the bad guy and doing all this other stuff, and her identity is not out there either, because she was able to come forth and do this. But the thing is, like, does that sound to me, just on its own, one little snippet out of context about that whole thing, does that sound like the reaction of someone that had that happen? I don't know. It doesn't seem logical to me. And then they messaged the next day, and this is again from his public defender, who said that through her message, when the next day when the guy woke up, saw the message, on Easter Sunday, he checked the car, found out the battery was dead. He messaged her, said, "Hey, no big deal. The battery's dead. If you have time on Sunday, maybe you can come and help me jumpstart the battery." And then she said, "Oh my God, did it die? I'll be there. I just need to get jumper cables from my truck." She then apologized to him, and he told her to stop apologizing. "Hey, we're friends, LOL. Hanging out with you is the best part." She told him that she was going to shower, get the jumper cables, head down before going to church. She even questioned if he knew how to use jumper cables. She texted him saying that she was showering, followed by smiling emojis within an hour of saying that she was raped. And not only did she come to help jumpstart the car the next day, they also saw each other that night, watched television together Monday morning. She had text messages from him with a lot of directions for what he needed to do for work. He responded with, "LOL, you bossy." And she responded, "Time to work, cougar," Monday evening. And then she asked him what was the name of the show they were watching, referred to Sunday evening. He didn't remember the name of the show. She even texted, "Hey, please don't go to the pool anymore." This goes to an earlier part of their thing. She said, "Please don't go to the pool anymore, or do I need to be there with you to stop you?" With another laughing and smiling emoji, followed by "just kidding," after another kissing emoji. And they were later claimed again. And then a week later, she claimed that she was raped. Just awful stuff. But again, it's just so weird. Like that does not sound to me like that kind of behavior. So I don't know. This is that total he said, she said stuff. And that's what's happening in court right now this week. This is that case. Yeah. Weird stuff, man. Weird stuff. This is why it's not great being single. I mean, yep. There's definitely going to be more to this case. It's worth going in and sitting in and listening to all this stuff. If it wasn't for the weather stuff, we'd be in there listening to all this stuff today. It actually resumes today with the first witnesses being one of the detectives and then the judiciary's human resource officer. These were two co-workers at the court. And again, we skipped over a lot of it this morning because we talked about it like when it first got filed, like a year and a half ago. And so, I mean, the guy's been, since then, the guy's been out on a unsecured bond, but living under house arrest for like a year and a half. If it ends up being that this guy lost his job and all this other stuff, it just, I don't know. I think it makes it really difficult. Or if you make a claim against somebody, you can really destroy them before they even have a chance. I don't know, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, that's something that happened with a college football player who was a punter, got drafted, and before he even played, he got signed and all that other stuff. Before he played in the NFL, after he got drafted, there was a claim that came out against him from some lady that said that he forced himself on her and all this other terrible stuff at this party. And so he ended up getting cut from that team before the process got saw its way through. And it took a long time. It took about 2 years before the guy was able to clear his name because it turns out he was never even at that party and she fabricated the entire thing. So the worst case is what happened with him. Now, he got into the NFL. He's playing for the Chiefs now. But he could have been making millions of dollars as an NFL player for a year and a half. Now, if it ends up being a false claim, that's where I think there should be something for people who have those kind of claims lobbed against them, if they are indeed false. Got to go, and there should be some kind of legal course of action against somebody who follows those kind of things. Because you're stealing from them. You're stealing their freedom. You're stealing their livelihood. You're putting them through all kinds of mental anguish and all that other stuff. Two separate stories, right? But I mean, if that's what ends up happening, I mean, if I had, could you imagine being on house arrest for a year? And how do you pay for everything? How do you even have a place? Yikes. Anyway, looking at that, Piling, good to see you. He says, this case is moving forward in the speed of light, but the Raffic case is moving forward in the speed of a snail. I know. And you know what's funny is that these are public defenders and the chief prosecutor from the Attorney General's office just trucking along, no problem at all, to get this stuff done. Right? Because our local judges make sure that stuff happens. When they recuse themselves from big cases, that's where all that delay happens, because it's not the most important thing to those folks. Like, these guys want to clear cases off their docket, right? They want to get them through and move it along. The guys that come over from Guam, it's not their same priority. Some cases are Category 5 and some are tropical depressions. That's funny. That is funny. Wow. All right. Let's get to a couple other things. Again, like we mentioned, 10 o'clock today, there's going to be a briefing by the Homeland Security Emergency Management up at the EOC. So we're going to bring that to you as long as we can broadcast live from that bunker. Just don't know if we're going to be able to get a signal out. That's going to be the big deal. We'll see if we can do that for you. If we can, it'll be live. If we can't, then we're just going to record it. And we'll shoot the video of it for you. And we'll get it to you so that you're up to date and everything. We got the cameras, we got the microphones, and we got a little mobile setup, so we're going to be good to go for all that stuff. And when we do broadcast live, we don't we won't be able to take the phone call, but we are going to be able to see your questions when they pop up on the screen, and if, we can ask them that question. So piece cake, that stuff's good stuff. All right, what else is going on? Oh no, we are about, what time is it? Kapow. Did I just close it out? I just closed it out. That's great. No, we're just a few hours away also from for Monday Night Football. I'm looking forward to that. I won't be able to do that video because of this one. I think it's going to be at 11:30. Hold on, let me just make sure I got the time right. Now it's going to be 10:15 a.m. here. We start at 10 o'clock for that briefing, so probably not going to be able to do that. Also tracking a meeting afterwards at maybe 11:30. So I'm going to be right in this little other things more important black hole where I'm not going to be able to bring that video to you. And I just got started too. It's all right. Nothing can stop us on Friday for Thursday Night Football, right? Because it's going to be the Bills and the Dolphins. So you know who we're going to be cheering for. There's nobody else. Yes, we're going to be cheering the Buffalo Bills next Thursday. I am going to be a homer. I don't care. Going to be cheering for the Bills against the Dolphins. And all right, I won't keep that going. Don't worry. I will spare you from that. But that is totally who I'll be cheering for. And it's going to be a good game next week for sure. A couple of teams that look like they're going to start to hit their stride. Hopefully, I want to support those police officers pulling over Tyreek Hill just before the game against Buffalo. So I know. It's not serious. I'm just saying, just for the Bills game, just to help us out a little bit. Man. All right. We talked about the courts a little bit. Here's a different version. That pause, the contemplative pause. I'll tell you what. So this is about the federal ban on cockfighting. It was affirmed in the Ninth Circuit Court. So this means that federally, you are not able to engage in cockfighting. Can't do it. Now, you're not supposed to. Is that going to change anything? I don't know. I don't think so. They tried it here. They tried it in our local court here and said, hey, look, it's the Commonwealth, but we should be okay. We should be able to do this because it was fair here in the CNMI and it was fair here in Guam. It shouldn't fall under the United States jurisdiction. It should have. We should be allowed to do cockfighting here, is what the case was. And the federal judge said no. He said they dismissed the case, affirmed it, said, look, you can't do cockfighting here. That's not going to change what's going on in Azlito. There's a couple of places out there, there's cockfighting for sure. And you know where it is. There's a million cars there randomly on a Sunday at the same place every Sunday. It's not because there's a party. I mean, different kind of chicken barbecue. So I've spoken to some federal prosecutors about that. And they're not actively going at it. But if they had some people who want to talk about it, they can make an issue of it. If you want to fly a drone and capture some footage, they would take it and then pursue it. If you wanted to. Yeah. Just who's going to make that stink? Who's going to be that guy? Oh, we're going to find that drone. No, you wouldn't be able to get it. I'm just saying you'd be able to get it. Unless you flew it really low, you wouldn't be able to get it. And it would be something. And, you know, those drones have a pretty good range, too. I mean, you could be up like a mile away from where you're flying it to where that is. Ooh. Hey, Raymond, I have no idea who that is. in the comments. Sorry, I'm looking at your comment. I have no idea who that is. For sure. Oh, anyway. So that's what's going on with that. So you still can do cockfighting. You just still can't do it legally. So it's kind of like smoking pot and selling it and everything. It's legal here under the CNMI, but it's not under federal law. And then it's just a matter if federal authorities are going to choose to pursue it or not. Like the local drug enforcement agency doesn't go after marijuana here because the U.S. attorney said they won't bring any charges. Even if you arrest them under federal statutes and everything, they won't bring it to court. So I wonder if that's going to be the case for cockfighting here also. But we don't have our own U.S. attorney. We have Sean Anderson out of Guam. So I think for all kinds of issues, that needs to change. We should have our own U.S. attorney. You say, oh, but it's so small. The caseload's got to be so small. There's no need for it. I think just because things aren't pushed here, I think there's a real reason for us to have our own U.S. attorney. We're a completely separate Commonwealth. Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Guam, CNMI, Puerto Rico should each have their own U.S. attorney. That's what I'm screaming. Should not be the same. We move our own stuff aside. We can move ahead at our own pace with cases that matter most to us. It's kind of a shame that we haven't had that already. I think we'd see more progress legally here for sure. Because you'd have someone willing to go to bat for all the cases that are more important here, instead of being overruled by someone somewhere else. Ooh, just got a message. 1 second. Oh, we are now in a new group. Oh, man. Man, Tobot, just got your message, partner. No, I'm sorry to hear it, buddy. Well, safe travels to you, my man. Dude, that's just, hey, I hear you. I totally understand. I'll give you a call when we wrap up in just a couple of minutes. Well, 8 minutes. Start your timer. Yikes. I'm sorry, man. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll get to that. Chris Tomakane in the questions. Good to see you. Man, I feel like it's been ages. Good to see you, man. And it looks like you were able to link up with some folks for the Labor Day and everything. And that must have been so cool. I've not done that trip yet. I've not been able to do all that cool stuff. But I would love to get out there and do the Labor Day stuff out there. And sorry, what I was talking about the message, by the way, we just ended up I'm part of this media distribution group. And Kim is calling me. I've got to call her back. And so the funny thing is that I'm answering a phone without actually picking it up, just so this superstar lady knows I'm going to call her back in a few minutes also, because we're still wrapping up the show and I know she's calling me back. So we're going to give her a ring in probably about 10 minutes. And that just happened. So again, we've got, that gives me a reminder, by the way. Here, let's see if I can't pull it up real quick. I think I've got it under the event slides. These are things that are coming up this week. Is that it? Oh, yeah. So, but I think I need to change one of them because I don't remember what they all are. There's all these things for the chamber. The chamber event next week is going to be pretty massive. It's 1 week away. and it is the debate. All 5 candidates who are running for Kilili's job are going to be going head-to-head next week over at the multipurpose building. There's about 300 tickets that are there. It's actually, I think, 275 is the number of tickets all the way. The general membership meeting. Oh, I didn't take that one out. That's the one I didn't remove. Sorry, that was last week. But the debate, all 5 candidates, 275 tickets, 200 of them are going to the candidates. Each candidate is getting 40 tickets. So if you know a candidate that you're supporting, go and reach out to them, because that might be your best chance to get a ticket. Because it's going to be next Tuesday. It's going to be at the multipurpose building, and that's going to be pretty wild. I mean, like the full audience and everything. The media is going to be there. We're going to broadcast it on the Chamber channel and on our NMI News service as well. So you'll be able to watch it if you can't get a ticket, but it's going to be the thing. Tickets are only $10. So reach out to the Chamber to see if you can get one of the tickets. So again, 200 of them are going to the candidates. The remaining 50 are going to go to Chamber members, and the other 25 are available to the public. So that's one of the advantages of being a member of the Saipan Chamber of Commerce. So you can you can reach out to them. You can go check them out over at the Marianas Business Plaza. They're on the 2nd floor. You go upstairs, take a left. You can't miss it. $10 for the tickets. And if they're sold out, again, then reach out to your candidate of choice. You can reach out to any of the candidates because those tickets are going to go to them. There you go. That's a big deal. That's next week. That's going to be the big event. What do you think? Do you have a question that you would like the moderators to ask? You could drop us a message. You send it to me if you want. You can send it to 789-2323. You'd have to do it pretty soon, because I don't think they're going to be taking suggestions from the community too much longer. There's only another week before the event, and I don't think they're going to be changing questions like the day before. So send it over. Let us know. Hey, Chris, just seeing your comments. Coming to Tacoma next year. Labor Day softball tournament next year will be in Tacoma, Washington. Oh my gosh, man. I haven't been there since I left the service. And next year will be the 30th anniversary of me being out of the service. How about that? Holy cow. 30 years since I ETS'd from the Army. Holy crap. Tacoma, Washington. The aroma of Tacoma. The Tacoma Dome. Do the Tacoma Rockets still play hockey? Or is that still a team? I'm pretty sure I saw them at the Tacoma Dome, but my memory's fleeting on that. Geez, Fort Lewis, can't imagine. It's Joint Base Lewis McChord. Used to play hockey out there in Spanaway. Oh, good times. Good times. Maybe that's something to think about. I still got a lot of friends out there. I got family out there too. I got in-laws out there trying to get me to go out there forever. Yeah, that's all right. They weren't really big. But hey, Seattle's got an NHL team now. So go see the Kraken. And it's maybe a little too early. I don't think they're cracking just yet. But maybe you could see the Seahawks. That would be cool during that time. Stick around for like an extra week. Catch the NFL. That could be pretty neat. All right. What else are we going to do? I think that's just about all that we got today. The thing that we're going to end up doing is getting you the latest from the Associated Press. I got some messages, by the way, in the meantime. We were talking about those clams and sinahis and all that other stuff. So I got some great contact info for folks, but I also got some other news. So the good news is of this, that image that we were showing. Hold on, let me open this back up again so you guys can see it. But basically, people were saying that some of these species aren't even here, which is good. Is this it? Yeah, here, let's open that up. Kapow. put it on the old share screen. Ooh, geez, that's a little too big. Make sure I can fit the whole thing on there. All right, so let's throw this over your way. Although it still looks a little wonky. All right, we won't go before. We're not going to go anywhere yet. That's how I can make this look a little bit better anyhow. Okay, maybe does that look better? I don't know. All right, so here's what some of the notes that I got. It said they gave me a good idea of some folks to talk to on this stuff. That's funny. You'd still be able to have sinahis. You wouldn't be able to ship them off island. None of the top box of species actually live in the CNMI with regards to the different types. So, and then according to this person, the import-export means commerce to me, but like most things, it'll probably would be fine 99% of the time. But there would be that one time. Yeah, and that was about like, well, does that mean you can, what do they consider import-export with all that stuff? What if you're wearing it and you're going through? Does that count as exporting that stuff? What if you have it in your bag? You know, because again, it says it's prohibited to import and export of meat, shell carvings, pearls. Like, I don't know that that's like some massive export like a product, or if you're leaving and wearing that stuff, because that's something I feel like that would get lost if it got taken away from you. Like, that would end up going nowhere. It would not be great. So we do have good leads that we are going to go ahead and follow up on these things so we can hear from them directly. You guys are going to be able to ask them directly again tonight, Tinian, at the Tinian Elementary School. 5:30 is when the doors open, 6 o'clock is when the presentation begins, and 7 o'clock is when the public hearing begins. I won't be able to be there for that tonight, but you guys will. And so let us know how it goes tomorrow, please. Shoot some photos, shoot some videos, and that'd be pretty great. All right, so here's what we are going to do, though. We're going to wrap it up because we want to get our stuff together so we can go to Homeland Security for the emergency operations, so that we can get you that briefing at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, though, we'll get you the latest from the Associated Press because that just dropped. Have a great day, Marianas.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Israel's ordered another evacuation from an area of northwest Gaza where it says Palestinian militants fired rockets on the nearby Israeli town of Ashkelon. Meantime, Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the United Nations is willing to monitor any ceasefire that can be worked out.
Guterres tells the AP as long as the parties accept it, the UN is available to help with a ceasefire.
The level of suffering we are witnessing in Gaza is unprecedented.
He is demanding an end to the fighting.
I've never seen such a level of death and destruction as we are seeing in Gaza in the last few months.
But Guterres says it's unrealistic to think the UN could play a role in Gaza's future.
Of course, we would be ready to do whatever the international community asks for us. The question is whether the parties would accept it, and in particular, whether Israel would accept it.
Guterres says Israel is unlikely to accept a UN role. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government have accused the UN of being anti-Israel. I'm Ed Donahue.
In Kentucky, a warrant for the suspect in the shooting of 5 people on Interstate 75 Saturday says the man vowed to kill a lot of people in a text message sent beforehand.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
James Earl Jones has died at 93. The actor overcame a stutter to become an icon of stage and screen with his deep, commanding voice. And Margie Zaraletta has the latest on Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein was taken from the Rikers Island jail complex to Bellevue Hospital late Sunday because of severe medical conditions involving his heart, according to his publicist and a prison consultant. Weinstein, who is 72, has suffered several health problems while in jail, including pneumonia and COVID-19 in July. He is awaiting a retrial after his 2020 rape and sexual assault conviction in New York were overturned. Prosecutors said last week they may charge him with 3 additional assaults. Weinstein was convicted separately of rape in Los Angeles in 2022. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
This is AP News. Monday Night Football has the Jets in San Francisco to play the 49ers. David Schuster has highlights from Sunday's action, starting in Miami.
The Dolphins got a last-second field goal to beat Jacksonville 20-17, while before the game, Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained and handcuffed for speeding and reckless driving.
I don't want to bring it racing to it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when you do. You feel me? So what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Lord knows, like, what that guy or guys would have did. You feel me?
In Cleveland, Dak Prescott threw a touchdown pass, Dallas defeating the Browns 33-17. Prescott signing a 4-year, $240 million extension before the game. Pittsburgh with 6 field goals to beat Atlanta 18-10. New England, the upset of the day, 16-10 at Cincinnati. Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdown passes, Tampa Bay 37-20 over Washington. And in overtime, Detroit getting by the Rams 26-20. David Schuster, AP Sports.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, everybody, that's just about going to do it for us. Just want to remind you that do not wait for a toothache to get yourself checked out. If you've got Medicaid, you've got coverage. And the people at Paradise Dental want you to head down there. That's right. Your x-rays, any age, they're free. Extractions, free. Fillings, free. Exams, free. If you've got Medicaid, you have coverage. Don't wait for a toothache. Head down to Paradise Dental. Give them a call, 234-4040. If you've got a kid, if you've got multiple kids, if you've got children under 20 and you've got Medicaid, they're all covered for just about everything as well. Go down there, find out why everybody is going to Paradise Dental Spa. 234-4040. You bring the smile, and they'll take care of you. We'll see you guys. Have a great day.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.